the battery on my old phone runs out from mere existence now. You know how they do the thing where, well, you may or may not know or noticed how when the new phones come out, you start getting mad glitches. Those people who choose not to upgrade, like, you don't really have that choice anymore. I don't know if you noticed, but you don't really have that choice anymore, because they will sabotage your shit and make sure you have all kinds of glitches unless you upgrade. So you're either way, you're forced to. Kind of like with computers. If you choose to use your Windows 98 and your AOL 3.0, you're going to have glitches and you're going to have mad incompatibility with stuff. All that stuff is going to be problematic. Needless to say, we did get forced into the upgrade, but I caught myself going to use my old phone to do videos where it might be inconvenient to use my new phone. For example, with the new phone, I can't just put videos on my computer because they're in the wrong format. So you're going to need to upgrade all this other stuff that's been so convenient to just transport the stuff. Or you're going to have to download an app that can do it for you. And in order to download that app, you're going to have to give them access to all your cell phone data, which is now everyone's life that we carry in our hands, right? So you have to give them, basically sign over your soul to use an app, which I get it. Like, I get it. Instagram, you need my cell phone data for me to be able to use Instagram, right? Like, how can I post a picture that I just took if I don't give Instagram access to my photo, my camera, right? It makes sense, but it was all orchestrated to make that kind of sense to users, so that the purchasers of your said soul and life can do so on some slave owner pimp type shit, and you still sign up for it and make it popular, so that, you know, it's the only way everyone communicates. So if you don't have that feature, then you're not gonna be, you can't be invited to the party. And this era, that's the only reason why I wouldn't mind being famous, is because I could still have access to humans without the need for social media or other technological means of communication. I'm just feeling a type of way because I'm in social media jail again. And it's never for anything disrespectful. It's always for promoting black love. Always. But I don't have to tell y'all that y'all know how that goes. Or any of you who post anything that has anything to do with black love regularly, y'all know how that goes. So yeah, I'm in jail. And you know what's crazy is it says a lot that, like, they'll send me to social media prison for black love even before they'll send me for calling out supremacy. And of the two, even though they go hand in hand, and by two I mean, you know, racism versus supremacy, of those two, is that a parking spot? I'm gonna try to be in and out of here. May or may not work. Anyway, be productive. I'm on my new mission to be productive. Be productive, light up Patreon, promote your Patreon page, still do your periodic YouTube. The Canna culture infuses every aspect of life, so that's why a lot of times when I do my regular videos here now, it just comes into play. It just shows up there. Here's an old lady. I'm not gonna feel responsible for helping her, so I'm going into the store. Because we black people, you gotta retire from being good Samaritans. You know why. Speaking of being in Instagram jail, I was looking at a friend's post, had the sensitive content warning. And you know what it was? It was that black woman that was saving the white dude's life, who had decided to do meth, to be a meth head, and overdosed on meth while behind the wheel of a car and damn near died. A black woman came to the rescue, gave him CPR, and saved his life. So the video was of her doing CPR. There was no blood, there was no violence. She was literally doing CPR on this colonizer, meth head colonizer, domestic terrorist, and Instagram flagged it as sensitive content. But you know what's not sensitive content? As far as community guidelines go? ratchet fights, black on black crime, black people being murdered by police, assault on black people by white people, by supremacists, by racists, vulgar and violent offenses against people of color. Word? Guy's trying to tell me something. He say, calm down, girl. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Gotta wait until it's filthy and full of residual product before it acts right. My sister talking about she got kinkier hair than mine. She's so beautiful. I should send her some of those. I'm gonna get some of those expensive ass curlers and send them to her. I was just thinking, cause I gave some to my sister who, she's appreciative, but she ain't gonna appreciate it. That sister will use and appreciate those rollers. I'm so mad. I thought these had 20 grams of protein, which was already smaller, less than the 30 that I generally prefer, even though they're so expensive. Okay, I've been sitting here too long. I didn't know there was an address to this place, though. Get down. Well, that was quite the experience. I got all kinds of mixed messages. Okay, so my first encounter was Becky, and she wasn't looking where she was going, coming down the wrong side of the aisleway on her cell phone. So I had the opportunity for a Becky check. You're in a public store on the wrong side of the aisle on your cell phone. I mean, because we both know that if I win the game of chicken, I'm gonna lose the game of life. Because when she called the police and say she felt threatened, I'm going to prison. As she came down, and it was down the main aisle too, so there was a long way to walk, so she had plenty of time to glance up from her phone and see that she was about to fucking inflict a head-on collision upon me. So there was that. Then, of course, there was always the typical Becky's clogging up the aisles and you're doing what they do, okay? I saw a couple of people that did move around like they were supposed to, but they hated having to do it. Oh, they were so mad. They were like, oh, I hate that we have to deal with y'all like y'all human these days. Then I saw a trailer park family in the refrigerated area. And she aloud said, yeah, well, we're trying to correct the mistakes that we made in the past. And she was referring to their eating habits. So they were in the refrigerated section, still selecting trash. But to be fair, I don't know what kind of trash they were selecting prior to today. So maybe they were doing a good thing. My only question was, is not being racist a part of the new things that y'all doing in y'all life? Because they seem to be trying to inspire the kids to do better than they did. I mean, in all fairness. So when she said, we're trying to correct the mistakes that we made in the past, I looked at the kids to see if they was going to look up at me like, yeah, we trying not to be racist to y'all too. But no, it looked like it was pretty much about food. So then, well, the line that it seems like I should get into, I didn't want to get into it. Because it looked like an old Jewish lady. To be fair, it could have been Nana Abuela. Because her hair was dyed jet black. And she was old as fuck. And so there was a guy in her line. He had one item. And he was standing there for the longest. And I was like, you know. And it was aisle 13. And it was register number 13. And today is the 13th. I was like, how many clues do I need to know that I should not get in this line? So I put my stuff up on the shelf. And so the man came back out of the line to go get something else. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should be there. So after he gets out of line, she says nothing to me. I have my usual several $100s worth of grocery on the damn belt. And she says nothing to me. So I started to get my shit. I put on the conveyor belt and put them right back in my bag. And she was like, no, leave them there. I'm open. Well, now it's gone the other extreme. And I'm feeling like she's a little too thirsty. Maybe there's a reason why nobody's getting in her line. Maybe there's a reason why old dude couldn't purchase this one little shit that he's trying to purchase. Because maybe she's slow and it's taking all this time. And maybe that's why she wants me to stay where I am. Because she's encouraged to test her skills with all of these groceries that I have. All of these groceries that I have. Well, the thing about that is we considering all her feelings, okay? We're not addressing the fact that I got social anxiety anyway. And I'm not really trying to be held up like this dude is held up. So she turns her light on for the manager to come over and help her with whatever this thing is she's helping this dude with. She's like, he needs 2 quarters. She says it's to me. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a voluntary Samaritan now, okay? But if I want to get through this register and get my things paid for, maybe I should do just that. So I said, you know what? Take whatever it is that he owes on this thing and put it on my bill. So she said he needs 2 quarters. Well, I'm like, okay, maybe this old Becky is not a Becky. Maybe she is abuela, and her English ain't so good, and maybe he's in this line because his English ain't so good, so they can work together. And so again, I said, you know, okay, whatever it is, put it on my bill. And so he's over by the gumball machine now saying, no, I need 2 quarters because I want to get some. He's like, no, that's okay. And I'm like, don't you, bitch? I'm like, don't you want to get out of here too? So I'm like, I'm giving you the money to finish your shopping. And so it turned out he needed 2 quarters because he wanted to get some gum out of the gumball machine. So all I had in my pocket were my keys. I was paying with my card, so I couldn't help him. So I was like, oh, okay. So she still couldn't get no help at the register. So I think she canceled out whatever she had for him, and then she started ringing me up. I don't know. I just wasn't in the mood, and shit, it just didn't go smooth. It didn't go badly. It just didn't go smoothly, and I'm easily irritable right now. Easily aggravated. Man, look, Remy Ma and Missy Elliott have blossomed into some of the most beautiful black bitches you ever laid eyes on. I'm talking about they are camera ready at all times. And it's natural. So what I'm gonna do is get my vanity game tight, okay? So I can join the party. Because I tell you, these heifers are beautiful. I'm still in IG prison. That's probably gonna last for a couple of days. Yeah, I don't know. Ever since we switched to, which I didn't want to do. I didn't tell Mr. I didn't want to do it because of why I didn't want to do it. And I didn't want him looking at me like, oh, you on that conspiracy shit again. But I don't want one entity handling our cell phone, cable, internet, and phone situation. Because if your entity is in bed with supremacy, whenever your president decides to flip that switch, all of them are on board. Now, the reality is that all of them are likely in bed with him anyway, particularly if you're a monopoly, if you have the monopoly in a particular area. However, they might decide to turn on him at different, or join him at different times, so all your shit don't have to go out at once. You know what I mean? I noticed that a lot of trickery has been going on, and ever since we let them take over our phone service, Instagram has really been on top of prohibiting, well, all Black Love is against all social media, mainstream and social media community guidelines. We know that. But with these particular people that we have just signed up to handle our phone situation, they are really reporting me to social media like a motherfucker. And fuck them. So that's all.